Hi, my name is Bjoern. Welcome to Bev Live on a Friday evening. It's been a week. It's Friday evening. We're all happy that it is Friday. So today we are going to continue what we have started. I talk about different topics that people ask in all kinds of social situations about wine. So we all want to learn. So we keep on adding to your knowledge and do the best that we can to answer any and all of your questions. You can go on Bev Live 24/7, ask the Bev bot. You can email us too, get in contact with us, ask any questions that you may have, and we'll do our best to provide you with the best answers that we can think of. One of the things that people talk about is blends. A lot of people go like, oh yeah, I love red blends and it's one of my favorites. What a lot of people don't know is that even though some wines are labeled with a varietal, let's say Cabernet Sauvignon or Merlot, or even on the white side, Chardonnay, they are not always 100% that varietal. Depending on where you are in the world, there are regulations that allow you to blend other varietals up to a certain percentage into the wine while still calling it with that varietal's name. And like I said, that differs depending on in which country you are. Laws are different even in the US, depending on which appellation or which state you have your winery. And why do wineries do this? Is they refine the wine. They make them as perfect as they can. And sometimes just adding a little bit of, like, let's say you want to add some tannins. You add a varietal that has lots of tannins into the wine, for example. Not much. You got to stay within the law. But you just add just a little bit to provide, for example, those tannins, or you want to provide something with more fruit, and you have this really fruity wine that you can blend into it. So you can do up to a certain percentage. Don't go over, because once you do that, you will have to call it a red blend, and then you need to kind of disclose or not disclose on the back label, what those varietals are. Another thing that people ask is, we have seen several of these kinds of shows or movies. What is a sommelier? What is a master sommelier? So sommelier is a person that works usually in a restaurant setting. You also have these in nice casinos and all kinds of entertainment establishments where somebody's needed to help you with advice on wine. So, you go to a nice restaurant, you get the wine list that's like this thick, and you look at it and go like, I really have no idea where to even start. And, then you ask for the sommelier, and that person usually was in charge of making that wine list. So there's a good chance he or she would have tasted all of the wines in there and really understands what they work with and what may be a good choice for your budget and whatever you are eating. So that's what a sommelier is. And then there's this thing called the master sommelier. So there is a classification or different levels of being a sommelier. And you have to go take exams, just like in school. You have to then also do a practical exam where they put basically lots of wines in front of you, and you have to tell them, yes, this is a Chardonnay from Sonoma or something like that. Where you basically just have to taste the wines and do your very, very best guess of where these wines come from. It's very hard. There are only a few master sommeliers in the world, but that's the highest level that you can achieve as a sommelier. Another question that comes up sometimes is, how long does it take for a grapevine to produce fruit that you can then turn into wine? Like after you plant it, how long does this take? And the answer is it takes 3 to 5 years, which is quite some time if you think about it. And it is also a huge investment for wineries or for somebody getting into the winery industry, because you have 3 to 5 years of waiting for these vines to be ready to make wine, to produce grapes that are suitable to make wine. So that's a very long time frame, and that makes the wine industry just sometimes so difficult, especially if you have to plant new vines. And it's sometimes hard for wineries too, if they have some areas of the vineyard where where you have varietals that are just not in fashion right now, and you think, okay, in the long term, this specific grape varietal will do really well. Let's rip everything out and put something else in. Well, you just lost like 5 years of sales for that plot of land. So, it's a hard decision that you need to make. And 3 to 5 years, in case you're wondering. And the last topic that I wanted to talk to you all about is sometimes people buy champagne, and they see, a lot of champagne is made from Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And they see Pinot Noir on the label. And they pour their champagne into a glass, and it looks like a white wine. Like, it doesn't make much sense. It's just as Pinot Noir. That way of producing champagne the way they make champagne is basically, let's start this way. The way they make champagne basically is they take the Pinot Noir and they extract the juice, but take the skins out immediately. Because here's the interesting thing. The juice that's in the white grapes is basically the same color as the juice that's in the red grape. So a lot of people think like, okay, well, this is red wine, it's Pinot Noir in this case, it's going to have red juice, and that's kind of where the wine gets its color from. No, it's not. The wine gets its color from the skin. So it's a red wine, the skin is red, and when it sits with the skin for some time, it basically takes that color and turns the whole wine into red wine. So when you have Pinot Noir in your Chardonnay, that's exactly what they do. They take the juice out, and the grapes basically out, and just leave the juice. And that's why the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir go together and still have pretty much the same color. That's your champagne. It's called Blanc de Noir. So if you see it on the label, Blanc de Noir, it's white from dark, basically. So when you see Blanc de Blanc in a Chardonnay, it's made from usually Chardonnay. It's a white wine made from white varietals. Blanc de Noir is a wine that is white, but it is made from red varietals, and in this case, Pinot Noir. And so with that, I wish you all a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.